After waiting for so long this entire week, Treyarch has finally released the Zombies blog post. Now, I know by the time you're watching this, it's already late. All the news has already came out and such, and everyone has already made videos and such. But I don't care. I just want to talk about my impressions, my thoughts on everything and such, and really, kind of give you guys the news if you don't read the blog posts and such. If you don't really, care about going on social media and such, you're only on YouTube and such. So I feel like that's my responsibility. So if you're watching me, I'm going to give you the news and stuff and kind of give you what I'm kind of getting at this and, my thoughts and opinions. And, I'm going to give a little bit of feedback to see, what we can improve upon in the future for Call of Duty Zombies within the modern era. But overall, I have to applaud Treyarch here. Treyarch has done a fantastic job. Now, is it perfect? No. Nothing will ever be perfect in the world, and I think for what we're getting at launch, it's a big improvement from what we saw at COD Next. I'm very happy, that's the case, and I think overall, I think we should all be happy about that, and I really am. So I can't wait for launch. But let's get into this blog post right here. So obviously, one of the biggest things, or the two biggest things that they told us last week, was that Liberty Falls was going to be receiving, some updates and stuff to give it a moodier feel. And we're also getting some HUD updates. Now, these are the two things that, a lot of people been talking about. Me personally, I've been talking about the HUD for a long time. It's been 4 years of me talking about this HUD. I made so many videos on it. I made so many tweets about it. I said, Treyarch, we need a fully customizable HUD for zombies. And here we are today, finally getting to see what the updates are to the HUD and such, and it feels like this is the conclusion of all that feedback for 4 years. This is finally the conclusion of all of it. But let's see the Liberty Falls updates. So first impressions off the bat, right? Moodier, definitely visible here. I think the zombies vibe is definitely present. I didn't have a problem with the COD Next version. I think the only thing is that it didn't seem like an outbreak happened there. I know it's like recent, but it doesn't feel like an outbreak happened in a town where there was full of people, families, all that stuff. So it just didn't feel like that. But I feel like this moodier vibe gives it that, because like when you're going into Liberty Falls, you're realizing that like families probably died by zombies and such. So it's like it has to feel moodier. So I feel like with this image, obviously we have to play the game and such, but this image does give me that vibe what Liberty Falls should be going for. And there's another image here. There's a dark ether storm in the background as well. So that alone tells me that there's a lot more to the map than the base version, because they have stated once again that that the main quest will also be present throughout Liberty Falls, and then any atmospheric things will happen during that Easter egg quest. So that's going to be present when you do the Easter egg. So hopefully I worded that correctly there for you guys. So these dark ether storms, I definitely think they're probably related to the Pack-a-Punch. I think Pack-a-Punch might actually have a quest on this map, because originally in the COD Next build, you only had to pay to open the door to the dark ether in the church, and Pack-a-Punch was available like that. But I don't think that's going to be the Pack-a-Punch quest. I think they had to disable it because of Easter egg related stuff. So now that we are actually seeing dark ether storms, and there's actually dark ether storms all around the map, I feel like that's going to play a role into like the Pack-a-Punch quest, which is awesome. So definitely a Pack-a-Punch quest is inbound for Liberty Falls, hopefully, and I hope it's a fun one. Now let's talk about the HUD. So Treyarch has stated here that they have continued to work on the game's modular HUD, touching up some of the zombie specific elements that can appear across most HUD preset options, and adding new settings. So let's talk about these updates right here, because these are absolutely everything that I wanted to see in the settings for, Black Ops 6 Zombies, because I know when we played the beta and such, there was only presets. So we were worried like, dang, we can't really change that much because we just have to use a preset. But that is not the case anymore. So here we go. The character portraits added to the lower left corner by default. So we have the character icons back. Big W, Treyarch. That's what I love to see. A lot of people in all their HUDs have put the character icon as a way to showcase that. It gives character to what you're playing. When you're playing zombies, you're only going to see the character's hand and the gun you're holding. But if you have that character icon, you know who you're playing as. Obviously, you already know who you're playing as because you're selecting the operator and stuff. But when you look at the character icons there and such, it kind of gives you that vibe like, oh, I'm playing as this character, oh, we're playing as the crew and such. It's really good. Like, I really can't explain the vibe, but you do get a zombies vibe with that. So it's just a huge thing, honestly. So we also got general alignment and color adjustments made across the entire HUD. So I'm assuming that's basically, making everything a bit more visible. I know the points and the salvage counter were not very visible, so I know with the new HUD they actually made it bolder, so you can actually see it more clearly. The perk icons are now positioned much more closer. Big W. I don't know why they were far separated in the first place. Big W on that. Zombie specific widgets added for certain in-game actions. This is another thing because a lot of people did not like the rectangle popping up when you pop the Gobblegum, did a score streak and all that stuff. It just feels kind of bland, it felt like multiplayer and such. But not anymore, it's zombified. In-game Gobblegum reward animation added. So that's another thing a lot of people were worried about, like Gobblegums, like the pop-up back in Black Ops 3. It's supposed to look like that, but when we saw the Liberty Falls gameplay, it didn't look like that. It didn't look great. So honestly, I'm so happy that they really went above and beyond to add all these things, even though it's close to launch, and maybe they didn't have to listen. Maybe they could have just said, nope, we'll just release the HUD the way it was from Liberty Falls. Well, no, they listened and they did all of that. I'm just proud of them, honestly. Visibility sliders added to allow players to fine-tune or completely disable additional HUD elements, including score feed, medals, and notifications, minimap opacity, weapon and equipment information, and much more. So we got more options to disable everything. So like the score feed, I am absolutely not a fan of it. I'm turning it off. Medals, once again, not a fan of it. I'm turning it off. Minimap, I don't want to have it, so it's turning off. It's getting turned off. And that's pretty much like a lot of the things that I don't want to see in the HUD be like, it's an option. It's an option. So this is great. This is how the Black Ops 6 HUD looks like right now. I'm honestly, happy with it. Is it perfect? No. Could it have been better? Yeah. Could it have been zombified? Yeah. But I think this definitely sets a huge foundation for the future of modern zombies, because now they understand that this is what we want from the HUD. This is the design that we want to see for the HUD. And, they can definitely improve upon it as, they go on into COD 2025 or any future Black Ops titles. This is perfect, honestly. Well, I did say nothing's perfect, but honestly for me, this is awesome. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with this, and honestly this is definitely the conclusion to my HUD feedback, and I'm glad me and other creators could play a part in helping touch up the HUD, and I'm just glad to be part of this community, and I'm glad Treyarch is listening to the community to make these updates. It's awesome. So they do go over augments, and now this is a big section of the blog post, and I don't really want to go deep into it because I feel like this is a whole other video I can make, because it's crazy how many different combinations there are. Now, I actually asked on Twitter how many possible combinations are. I'm gonna post on screen the number that I was told when people did the mathematics and stuff. And yeah, it's a crazy number. It's a crazy number. That's the amount of combinations you can make with the current augments present. Now we know we're getting more perks, maybe more field upgrades and such in the future of Black Ops 6 during its, post-launch cycle, and that number could increase exponentially. But dang, that amount of combinations for everything, that's a lot of variety, honestly. And I feel like every player is going to play differently. Obviously, some people are going to create some meta builds, probably, who knows. But honestly, I feel like everyone's going to play differently, and that's awesome. Everyone's going to have a different experience. So there are 108 augments available to unlock and equip at the game's launch. So there's 8 Perca-Colas with 6 augments each. So there's 48 augments from Perca-Colas alone. There's 5 ammo mods with each with 6, 30 augments in total from ammo mods, and then same thing, field upgrades 5, 6, 30. So in total 108 augments. Insane. So I just want to talk about, the augments. And another thing I forgot to mention, you have to get to level 11 to unlock the research. So the research, this is how you unlock the augments. So you actually have to select one. You can only rank up one at a time. So this is going to be a long grind for the launch of Black Ops 6. So you have to select one item, and then you're just going to be playing the game, ranking up XP and such. And as you rank up more XP, you're going to be unlocking all the augments available to that item that you selected right off the bat. So once you reach level 11, you can start, earning XP to unlock augments for the different items and such. But over here, what's interesting as well is that Juggernog, it actually requires 6 total augments to begin that research for Juggernog. So you actually have to collect a certain amount of augments for one item, and then you have to, continue collecting augments and such until you reach a certain amount, and that's going to unlock the other augment, or like the other research, to actually get the augments for that specific item. So for Juggernog, you need to collect 6 augments in order to upgrade Juggernog and unlock the augments for Juggernog. So the grind is going to be insane for this. I honestly think this grind, depending on how much XP is required for the augments, I honestly feel like this could probably take maybe more than a month. Possibly, maybe for some players, maybe like myself, I could probably get them all maybe 2 to 3 weeks, possibly, if I have no life and such. But unfortunately, I do have a life and have to work. But thankfully, I have 1 week off. But yeah, this grind for the augments is going to be insane. So I'm just going to talk about a little bit of the augments that I actually enjoyed seeing here, because this is insane. So Juggernog, this is right off the bat. Turtle Shell. It's literally the shield as an augment. So armor acts as a shield on your back, completely absorbing damage to your back. No damage mitigation when hit from the front. So basically it's like the shield, right? All the damage is going to be on your back, and then whatever damage that is taken from the front, it's going to be nothing based on like armor and stuff. It's going to be your own health. So that's awesome. Honestly, I feel like that's going to be such a cool challenge. Honestly, it's going to make high rounds a bit challenging if you're using that augment, because in higher rounds, zombies can down you maybe in 2 hits, maybe in 3 hits, because their damage scales and your health also scales and stuff based on the round and such. So honestly, like, that's going to create a challenge if you want to use a shield and such. I think that's awesome. Also, we have like reactive armor. When an armor plate breaks, normal enemies are stunned for a short time. So that's like Victorious Tortoise from Black Ops 4. When your shield breaks, it just like knocks everyone back. So that's awesome. That's cool. There's a lot of great augments here, all that stuff. I feel like this is one of the biggest innovations in COD Zombies in a long time. So Augments is amazing. I definitely am going to make a bigger video on this because this is so much information on Augments. And then we also got equipment and stuff, and then we also got the confirmation of all the Gobblegums we're getting on launch. So we're getting rare, epic, legendary, and ultra. Obviously Perkaholic is there. I'm back, let's go, major W. And a lot of these we already know what they are. Wonder Bar is obviously one of the new ones. Hidden Power, this one is actually the one that I actually love because it upgrades your currently held weapon to legendary rarity. I am going to try and unlock a lot of these because I'm going to be using this Gobblegum a lot for camo grinding. So this Gobblegum might be my favorite. Obviously it can't be Perkaholic. And we got some whimsicals. Obviously the fart zombies are back, and then the ones where they just float up into the sky. So a lot of great things, honestly. Major W. Also we got the dedicated crew, with the operator select. So if you want to experience more of the story, they're actually recommending you to play as these operators on that map. Very good, very good. They're taking inspiration from Call of Duty World War II zombies from Sledgehammer, and I'm glad that system, I have been saying this should have been the system in Cold War and from there on, but now it's finally here, it's finally implemented, and that is amazing. Very happy about that. And that's pretty much it, honestly. What a fantastic blog by Treyarch. Honestly, I'm just even more excited to play Black Ops 6 Zombies. And if you are excited about Black Ops 6 Zombies, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I am going to be streaming all week next week. And yeah, it's going to be a long grind. We're going to be grinding all the augments and such. And yeah, it's going to be a fantastic launch week. And I'll see you all later. Peace.